Today I'll be refuting Emily's claim that the use of cattle for industrial meat production is harmful to human health and the environment. She supported this with two secondary claims: that animal waste pollutes air, causing harm to humans, and that factory farms, which I will also be referring to as centralized animal feeding operations and large farm operations, pollute large amounts of water, harming both humans and wildlife. Her first claim, that animal waste pollutes the air, causing harm to humans, is true. This is true of all animals, not just on large farms. It's true of wild animals. It's true of humans themselves. We breathe out carbon dioxide. We emit gases. It's just part of life. These air emissions from these large farm operations are controlled by the Clean Air Act, and for a long time have needed better methods of estimating their accuracy. Only as recently as 2009, the EPA teamed up with 24 concentrated animal feeding operations to better improve the methods of evaluating their emissions. This information was released in January 2011. The discoveries used or found in this evaluation are intended to improve the technology and ways of mitigating these emissions, similar to what we've seen in the auto industry and construction industries. Her claim that factory farms pollute large amounts of water, harming both human and wildlife, she cited that some of these lagoons that house the waste from the animals fail and leak into streams and lakes. She cited one, but recently states have been implementing large farm operation laws and programs that have attempted to resolve these issues. According to VermontAgriculture.com, large farm operation laws require adequate and satisfactory waste storage and requires the farm to land apply manure, compost, and other waste according to a nutrient management plan. These lagoons that house the waste are actually often used for fertilizer for croplands. An example of technology helping in this area is authorities in South Carolina use geographic information systems to inspect operations and work with landowners to bring facilities into compliance with Department of Health and environmental control regulations. So this is showing that because of our need for farm operations like this, we're implementing technology that will better mitigate these emissions. These issues are becoming increasingly less significant with the growth of organic farms, which have much less of an impact on health and the environment. According to one of her sources, the Preservation Leadership Forum, factory farms have increased 30% from 2003 to 2009. This was to keep up with the demand for products such as beef, poultry, and pork. According to the USDA, organic farms have grown 235% from 2002 to 2007. This growth was followed by a 31% growth in the year 2007 to 2008 alone, and came after a 485% increase from 1997 to 2002. So her claim that the use of cattle for industrial meat production has some bearing, but is quickly becoming a non-issue and will be resolved through improved technology and growing organic farms.
Okay, basically your whole argument is an attempt to diminish the importance of the advocate's argument. You kind of accept the premise that there are consequences of using cattle for meat production in this way, or any kind of factory farms are going to have some impact, but you're arguing that most of this impact can be mitigated, that we are developing technologies for doing this, that we've already done research in this particular field, and I think that's a pretty good strategy to show that that is in fact happening. I do think that you are still allowing the advocate an awful lot of leeway, though, because you never discuss what the impact is as a whole. In other words, did the advocate provide us with any way of measuring how significant that impact was? And as a consequence, we don't necessarily know how significant these mitigating processes will be on that impact. I do think that there needs to be a little bit more challenge to the premise of the argument, not necessarily the facts, but the significance of it, so that your mitigation argument will be more substantial. The second part of the argument, which suggests that this is largely going to be declining because of the increase in organic farming, you've got some interesting statistics there. There may be some issues with the way the numbers actually do compare, but I think you've got a good idea here for an argument. I doubt very much, though, that organic farming is going to be able to replace the kind of farming that produces these potential harms, but you kind of explain why it would be increasing substantially and why it mitigates those harms. And I thought that those were good arguments. So as far as it goes, you diminish the argument. I think you do want to put it in a little bit more context. Thank you.